negative consequences of the globalization of ecology and environment. In addition to what was discussed in the previous selection, other negative effects of globalization on the planet and therefore directly on economy and the environment are the following: reduction of zone layer, increased greenhouse effect, melting of the polar caps, um, growth from sea level, marine designation, death of fish and other marine beings, destruction of forest, desertification, water contamination, destruction of ecosystems, biology loss, soil contamination.
How globalization affects the environment? Our planet is increasingly globalization. We call globalization the process of interdependence between the different countries of the world that unites the different markets, societies, and cultures that give the world an increasingly global character, whose central axes are the World Trade Organization, the International Monetary Fund, and the Bank World. However, globalization has effects on technology, ecology, and culture. Among other aspects, we focus on analyzing how globalization affects ecology.
Globalization negatively affects ecology. In international markets, there is an increasing competition of energy resources, which will increase emission of polluting substances. Some these pollutants contribute to global warming and climate change, generating global effects that negatively affect the lives of millions of species. Many less developed countries explored their resources to meet demand or even play external debates, which can lead to resources depletion. Some water for deforestation or overexploitation of schools and fish or overfishing. This is the consequences of the environment level and the different space.
What influence does globalization have on ecology and the environment? The barriers damage to the environment have been increasing since the Industrial Revolution derived from economic, social, and political progress, although it is not the same in all areas of the planet and have varied over time. There are studies that show that some environmental problems such as water quality or the levels of some pollution such as sulfur dioxide have increased with development and since the Industrial Revolution took place. Other problems that have also increased are the production of waste and the emission of CO2 or carbon dioxide, the main greenhouse gas. They seem to be based on the fact that resource consumption increases with property, since the planet's resources are not unlimited. Some have had to be represented through history, such as the use of wood for coal and other fuels, such as nuclear energy.
Satisfy costs are also reduced. For example, these are transnational companies that locate their factories in communities where labor is much cheaper in the environmental laws are much less strict. With this means to reduce their pollution cost, but at the cost to reduce diminuing the environment and ecology, so diminishing the species that inherit these areas in this planet.
How does pollution affect our health? According to the World Health Organization, WHO, urban air pollution increases to the risk of suffering from acute respiratory disease, such as pneumonia or chronic disease, such as lung cancer or cardiovascular disease.
What influence does globalization have on ecology and the environment? How globalization negatively affects ecology. Negative consequences of globalization on ecology and environment. Examples of how globalization negatively affects ecology and environment. Possible solutions to the negative effects of globalization on the planet.
And in the cardiovascular system, emissions of fossil fuels into the atmosphere not only affect the climate. Research from the University of Michigan has just shown that exposure to polluted air increases the risk of heart attack in the short term.
Consequences does contamination have on the muscular system? Their effect on the body polluted air particles are classified according to their size, and their effect on the human body is directly proportional to these dimensions. The smaller they are, the farther they will go into airways.
How can we stop pollution in the human body? The main air pollutants are suspended particles, nitrogen dioxide, transpiration, ozone, sulfur dioxide, and benzopyrene. All these substances are mainly caused by road traffic, which is the main cause of pollution emissions, to which are added heating, some industries, power plants, refineries, or incinerators.
In the respiratory system, environment contamination can produce these effects: nose and throat infection, wheezing, cough, pain when talking at the repeated, decreased lung capacity, aggravation of the respiratory physiologics, need to increase the use of bronchodilators as the treatment for respiratory physiologic, increased risk of death from heart and respiratory distress, increase in hospital admissions for cardiorespiratory disease, symptoms of breath while doing outdoor activities.